Check. Hey. All right. We're in the building. And we are live on YouTube and on Facebook. And Instagram.
All right. We're getting it in.
Let's do it. All right, y'all. Boardwalk Global Media's in the house. And it is now 8 o'clock on a Tuesday evening. Big shout out to my YouTubers tubing in, giving you a chance to get down. It's 39 degrees in New York City. It's partly cloudy, and we had flurries today.
Yeah, we did.
We had a little bit of rain. It's pretty wild. Traffic's been easy. I got around nice and easy today. Nothing happening. Right now, you are now tuned into Q Media Nation with your host, Sister Falana, in the building. And we're about to put her on camera so you can see how this thing's going down. All on YouTube. You'll know what's happening.
I love this intro. Do it.
We having fun with it. To the bridge, y'all.
Do it.
Word up.
Hey.
I'm gonna light it up. I got it. Everyone's in the room.
So I'm really late.
Okay, that's a bet. We're now live.
Enjoying it.
Have a good time. Once again, Boardwalk Global Media in the house. My sister Sis Falana is in the house. Did I get that right?
Gonna pass it off.
Q Media Nation. Did I hit that? And bang.
There it is.
We're back. Wow. Another edition. Fantastic.
Here we are.
It's wonderful to have you back in the studio.
I am glad to be back.
You know, you're here. I'm going to do a dual shot so everybody can see us both.
Woo.
And there we are right there. You know what I'm saying? We in the house. You know, I'm always advertising other shows. So that's Maria Davis' show right there.
Oh.
Can't Be Silenced that we do on Mondays.
Great.
You know.
Great opportunity. I had actually heard about her so many years. She was like the legend, the myth, the whole nine.
Yeah.
Right? And then we walked in the club, and she was just so humble. She had all this money hanging off of her. So I was like, okay, well, let me give some money too.
Yeah.
And then all of it is because she's giving to a cause.
Yeah,
she's
100%.
into the mission and the music, which is part of tonight's topic.
Bring the mic closer to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. There you go, right there.
Right,
Yeah, let me hear you now.
Okay, 1, 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
I want presence.
I want to hear it.
I like presence.
I want to feel it.
You know, I mean, Maria, like you said, she has a cause. You know, she has the whole the AIDS thing, which is her movement, HIV, and she's a big advocate for that. And she is very humble, and I've known her for many years, and we've been friends for 1,000 years at this stage in the game. So, you know, I sponsored some of her shows. She hired me when I was broke. You know, we have that kind of relationship. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when I had no money, she was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So, Sister Falana, what is going on? I am turning your show over to you.
Well, Media Nation, I appreciate you all coming on. We also are on Instagram Live, so if you're on Instagram Live, go over to Q Media Nation.
All right.
Young Tef said, what's good? Young Tef, what's going on? Oh, man, amazing.
See,
that
then I got to talk about it, right?
Oh, Lord.
See, I was trying to let you have your show. I was trying to let you have your show.
She said, what's up, y'all? You know how I love
What's up, Tef?
everybody.
Yeah.
She is such an incredible performer. She was more than what I expected. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right.
Listen.
See, I was like this.
I give it up. Well, I'm going to give it up, right? When it's dope, it's dope. And she had like a little bit of comedy going with her. Her stage presence was like, yo, I'm here. And I'm here, so I'm just going to be here. And I'm going to talk to y'all. I'm going to relate to y'all, and I'm going to engage with y'all. And I thought that she was phenomenal. And then when she actually did her songs, I was like, wow. You know, and she captivated that audience, by the way, that night.
She is, when I say phenomenally, she does her thing. When I first asked her to come on, it was, she didn't have a problem with it. It just, that's the way the cipher is. When you ask people to step up, then they should do what they should do.
That's right.
Step up. Because this is a worldwide effort. You know, we're not just doing this in this particular studio, in this particular forum, but we're taking it around the world because independent radio is becoming
That's right.
more and more accessible. Last night I was on a conference call that we do every Monday night with independent DJs and radio hosts, that kind of thing. So it's really small, intimate. It's based out of Springfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And we get on every Monday night, and we have different artists come on, whether they from, last night we had After 7. When was the last time you heard After 7?
Wow.
Word.
And After 7 talked a lot about their career, the opportunities that they've had in their career. However, before we could end, it ended on this note. What's going on with black music and the movement? And I'm telling you, there's so many conversations that are happening around us. Like, how effective are we? So I'm going to talk a little bit about another family. I was waiting for them to come on. I'm not sure if they're here or not. But anyway, it was a case up in...
Because I want to keep your flow. But I want to acknowledge the chat room. Big shout out to Diane Cameron.
Hey.
Good morning from wet day here in Surfers Paradise, Queensland, Australia. Time here is 11:05 a.m. and it's Wednesday.
Wow. Okay.
So you are the morning show in Australia.
Hey, Australia.
That's Baba T's
That's Baba T's grandmother, right?
That's his
really?
grandmother, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Baba T's
Morning, grandmother.
Big shout out to Baba T's grandmother.
Hey, Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, no, like I said, it's a worldwide movement. So when you have a worldwide movement, you have to have something to connect when you do not know the language. And if I'm shouting at you, you might think I'm shouting an order or anything, but when you hear it in the music carries the tempo of the movement.
That's right.
So shout out to a lot of the families who have lost family members, whether through black on black violence and otherwise, because we've got a serious situation among ourselves.
That's
We can
right.
march against everybody else, but we can't march against the ones that are doing all of the foolishness in our own community. So shout out to all of those families who have experienced serious loss because basically we're just wilding out, just to get there. But Miss Tonier, we were looking for her to be on with us too. I don't know where she is because I can't leave her out of it. However, we'll keep on moving with the program.
I'm right here.
Oh, okay, you are here. All right. Hey, Miss Tonier, how's it going?
you?
All right. And I say Clarissa is here. Okay, good. I wanted to, and of course, Sister Tanetta, who actually is the person who called me. So I want them to tell their story, but I want to say that your grandmother is a fighter to be able to experience this and then be able, and you as a family unit, come together to make sure that the word is heard for us to take action, not just listen to the story, not just sympathize with the family, but to also get out and do something about this. So welcome to the show, Sister Tanetta. Good to see you. All right. And our Sister Clarissa, who is also the granddaughter of Miss Geraldine. Did I say her name correctly? Okay.
The daughter.
All right. I want you to actually tell us the what actually happened and where it happened.
My mother.
Okay, mother. Okay, she said your granddaughter was coming on.
My
Okay.
mom.
Okay.
My daughter went to the dentist and is having some
Okay.
dentist issues. Anyway, my mother, Geraldine Cincino, is the victim. Let me just tell you, she's a frontline essential worker.
Mm-hmm.
She's 72 years old. She's been a registered nurse for over 40 years. She's been a hospice care supervisor.
Recording in progress.
Visiting nurse service she works for of New York. She's a grandmother, she's a sister, she's an aunt, she's a community activist as well, a praise team leader. She's also a singer. Longtime member of Ebony Ecumenical Ensemble and also a political confidant for some.
Mm-hmm.
She decided to go to the corner store in New Rochelle, New York, between 5th and Coligny. At the corner store, she went to go get some cookies. As she was returning back from getting the cookies, she was hit by a car, hit and run, on October 19th. She was hit by a young lady who was 25 years old. Her name is Gillian Gatlin. This is a little...
of course, take your time. Take your time.
A little difficult.
Really.
But I got a call from her phone, and it happened to be someone who just pulled over and stopped to help her. She said she's been hit. So I didn't really understand what she was saying. So I called the phone back because I was in the backyard just cleaning. And I called the phone back and she said, Clarissa, I've been hit by a car and I'm on the ground. So of course I ran. My daughter saw me run. She ran. We ran to the corner. This was just on the corner of North Avenue. And apparently the police had caught up with the young lady on Lincoln Avenue. To our knowledge, she had not been breathalyzed. She did not have her license and insurance on her, and she was let go. My mother has experienced a lot of traumatic, of course, pain. She's had the surgery, which took a pretty few minutes, simply because she's 72.
Right.
And the leg was so swollen they couldn't really operate at that time. They needed to figure out cardiology, with her heart and everything else. Once she had the surgery, I was jumping ahead, but we did get a visit from the officer, and they did tell us that that officer did tell us that they had video footage. At this time, we were trying to get the police report and what have you. They couldn't provide the police report in I guess, usually you would get it in, I would say, the most 7 days.
Right.
We didn't get it until, I don't want to quote any not right days, but I know we got an amended report, and it's actually all on my website. We got an amended report first, which I went and paid $1.50 for. I asked for a receipt. I was told they don't give out receipts. We didn't get the first part, I guess, of the report until November 13th.
And this
accident
happened
on
October 19th, right?
Yes.
Oh.
So right now, our attorney, Lauren P. Razor, as well as my family, we believe that, we have been treated unfairly. We called for an investigation and the police report. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm a loss for words.
Of course.
I believed in this community. I do a lot of community work here. I am also a professional singer.
Okay.
And I do a lot of performances here for New Rochelle. Anything they have, Black Lives Matter, any fair, anything political, I'm usually there and is able to donate my services.
Right.
And I just couldn't understand that the very people who are supposed to protect and serve are protecting and serving who they want There's a big bias here. Apparently, Miss Gillian Getlin is the daughter of the amusement park consultant Michael Getlin, and she was just issued a summons.
So since that time, how was your mother? I just want to check on her, how how she's coming along since that
My
incident.
mother is she's old school fighter, but she's having some difficult days. She has a great deal of pain. She's not standing yet. So that's where we are. She's in rehab. She's in rehab. And I would assume maybe I don't even want to assume, but we were told maybe sometime next year she'll come home.
Wow. Oh my goodness. And this person is just out walking around willy-nilly. This is one of those cases, and nothing has truly been on mainstream media, correct?
No.
Okay.
The only person who wrote an in-depth article was Robert Cox from the Talk of the Sound. I'm grateful for him doing that interview and taking on the story as he did.
Right. That's why we have a network of shows here that we participate in an independent community, the independent media community, to make sure that it is more of a grassroots and not just, with boots on the ground and getting the stories that need to be heard and the people who have things that we need to support and be a part of. I understand that we're going December 9th. That is the day that Miss Getlin is supposed to receive what? What are we coming to? Because I want the call to action. We're going to talk about what we have to talk about, which is the actual story. But now let's find out what we're going to do from there to support what the movement is.
Right. So the attorney Lauren Razor has reached out to our Westchester County District Attorney, which is Miriam Roca. And we're asking her for a full and fair investigation. Gillian Getlin's scheduled arraignment is on December 9th, 2020 at 10 a.m. And we're asking to pack the court.
Okay. I intend to be there. And I have some folks that are coming over from New Jersey. When we make one call to one family member, it's like a telephone. So we're going to play telephone with this one and make sure that we fill the courtroom up, because this could be your family member. And how much we can no longer, and sis is breaking down. I understand that you're an only child as well. So am I. So it's even more painful to get a call from someone's phone who you're thinking they're on the other line, and to then have to go through the processing of that person and what if, and now for someone to just go home and get a slap on the wrist, if even that is a terrible, terrible miscarriage of just anything, law, humanness, justice, everything. So I want us to not only just look at this show as just entertainment. We always say we are your source for independent thought, politics, money, music, and life itself. Because the two things I always say you can never replace, and that's time and life.
That's right.
So we're that kind of show where we're public affairs. We like to have fun. We are a full family, but we're also a network of serious people taking on serious causes. I wanted you to let us know again exactly where to meet on December 9th.
So on December 9th at 10 a.m., it's New Rochelle City Court. It's 515 North Avenue, New Rochelle, New York, 10801. If you look at my name, you can Google my name, ClarissaCincino.com. There is a page on there that says Justice for Cincino. And we're pretty much all over on Facebook. Instagram, and on the website.
Okay. Give your website one more time.
Sure. It's www.clarissaceno.com.
Okay.
And it's the page Justice for Cincino.
Okay. And I want to thank you for sharing as much as you have and keeping your composure. I look forward to being there and being one of those media outlets that is taking the information back to the people. Also, Sister Tanetta, I know you're off camera. You may want to turn your mic on. She is a person that I have absolutely treasured for years. Has been one of those formidable voices. I mean, she's yay high, but she packs a power punch when she gets on that microphone. And used to be a B-girl, as we used to say up in the Bronx. Real good sister. About her children. Of course, I want to add a little light to it because I know this is very difficult at the same time, but we want to be family and help each other get through the tough times too. So that's why I'm like a little on the light end with that. But I want to say also to Tanetta, please, thank you so much for making sure that you brought that story to here, because more and more independent shows are coming together and learning how to brand together so that we could stay alive, because Black radio is missing in New York. It's when it was destroyed, everything got destroyed. I'm surprised there is a Black Lives Matter without radio to show you that our voices will never be stomped out. So, Tanetta, if you had anything that you wanted to add to tonight's program.
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm completely grateful for you opening up this vehicle for us to share this story. Ms. Geraldine Cincino is my aunt. I love her. She's an amazing woman. She's everybody's grandmother. She's everybody's auntie. She's everybody's arms when you need. She's a shoulder. She's that lap that you lay in when you need comfort. This is who she is. Even the mayor of New Rochelle had found his way at her doorstep for a cup of coffee and advice, because she is the community aunt. She is the community grandmother. She's the community mother. So if this can happen to her, what about the other grandmothers, mothers, and aunties that are walking the streets basically in harm's way over reckless behavior? And I just wanted to, again, say thank you for allowing us to share the story and for it to reach so many people. You've always been consistent with allowing folks to have a vehicle by which they can share stories, share love and their expression. So with that, I can hope for continued success and that this radio program reaches the far ends of the earth.
Absolutely. Ms. Tonier
Thank you.
Our other host to this particular show. Ms. Tonier, did you have any questions you wanted to ask or anything to add in the conversation?
I just wanted to let her know that we are behind you 100%. We want to take on some of that weight that you have right now to make sure that all the stuff that you're going through is not as difficult as it seems. When you get a village to support, then you know that you can make it and things will change.
Right.
And the problem with today's society is that we've been putting it off all these years to let all this stuff slide, but it can't keep sliding. We have to stand up and stand together and fight. And unfortunately, it's our own people we have to fight, but we need to fight for our people as well.
Yeah.
You know, and Sister Falana is also, like she said, an only child, and her mom is in her 70s too. You know, it just happened to be that way. But, you know, it is that time that your parents are getting older and, you know, you're the next generation and we are the next generation. We need to step up and support and make sure that we do get justice in these type of situations.
Right.
It's very unfortunate that it happened. And my heart is out to you and your family. And Q Media will be behind you 100%.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I so greatly appreciate it.
I want you to be able to get my number from Sister Tanetta if you have to talk in any way. We also, listen, only child. Looks, we are each other's therapy, so to speak. And for those, and I don't want to be remiss also that Sister Tanetta is one of the brain people for this particular show as well. So she's for real with the research. She'll call me, "Did you hear such and such?" I'll be like, "No, I didn't quite." And she has a sweet shop that's opening up very, very soon in Teaneck, New Jersey. So she's also a businesswoman. So shout out to her. And her family, Aunt Dot's Sweet Shop. You've also seen one of her daughters on television, so we're going to have her in the studio as well. It's a very, very talented family. So thank you both for being on with us, and we look forward to being with you on December 9th.
And our prayers is with your family.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to go to a break.
Oops.
I just wanna live.
All right.
God protect.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you
I
too.
just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live.
And that's Young Tef. This is instrumental to one of her songs about "I Just Want to Live." With all that has been going on, I know you all covered the Rittenhouse
Yes.
trial, and we got to breathe. Some of this stuff we got to breathe.
We can talk
'Cause
about it.
Woo, okay.
I know, right?
It's like, how much are you gonna, what else you gonna do? My goodness. We've had the trial in the Atlanta area.
Yeah. Now that's a whole nother thing, right?
We've got a lot of stuff going on.
I'll deal with the Rittenhouse thing, right? Because I had a perspective on it, right? And I remember when I first heard about it, I thought that this dude, came and he started, shooting black people, right? I was like, man, he went there and just killing black people, and oh man, it's the devil, because that's what I thought was going on. Then they showed the picture of the victims, and the victims were all white people,
yep.
and I was like, okay, this is kind of a different twist. Now, what was interesting was that if you did any, a backstory on the victims, one was a child molester, the other one was a wife beater.
Okay.
Right, and they were and did time. They did time, for these crimes, and that lended to his not guilty verdict, right? That lended to that, and then he goes on Fox News,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? Because Fox News is always looking for, the thing, right? Yeah. He go on Fox. He said, listen, man, I am pro Black Lives Matter," right? On Fox News. They're looking like, what? Right? So, as the case was presented through the media, it wasn't actually what it was, right? He actually went, right, because it was a Black Lives movement, to protect property and stuff. He didn't go there to assault black people. It wasn't a racial thing for him, like they tried to play it up to be. It wasn't racial at all. And the dude went on TV. He's like, listen, I'm like, I'm pro Black Lives Matter. Like, I'm not a racist. This is what it's about. Which then lended to the self-defense thing, right? Now, where we were kind of up in arms with the crime was a 17-year-old kid gets a rifle, goes and starts shooting people. You know what I'm saying? How is that possible? And then the mom drove him there to go and do this thing. And that was the crazy side of the story. But the side of the story that everyone was up in arms about doesn't exist, because he wasn't there to kill black people. He wasn't even there to really hurt anybody. It's just that when he got into the confrontation with the dude, and also it's in the transcripts, he got beat up, Like, he took a couple of slugs over the head, too, before he's like, you know what? I had enough of this getting slugged over the head thing. I'm going to give you all that thing. And it just so happened. Yeah, exactly. It just so happened that the two people that he shot were actually not nice people. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, they didn't deserve any sympathy in that situation. Because if you're a pedophile, you need to get that thing. I'm clear. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a wife beater, you need to get that thing. To me, it was karma. They were just in the right place at the right time, in the right situation. So, you know, I mean, that's how I saw it, though. That was my take on it.
Anybody else? Anybody?
I think that, you know, with the way it was done, I think a lot of people were saying, you know, if it was a 17-year-old black kid, which I totally agree. If it was a black kid,
Absolutely.
it wouldn't have been a trial. He'd have been dead.
Yep.
Automatic.
Right? He would have been dead. So and I think that's where a lot of people really got really upset at. And obviously this being a Black Lives Matter, and you know, unfortunately, you know, the victims were white, but this being a black, like, that couldn't happen at, for example, a Trump rally.
Right.
You understand?
Of course.
So, and I think that when you get stations like Fox News, you know, Tucker Carlson and people like that come in, you know, you see what happens.
Yes.
So I think that, you know, with the way that this played out, I agree that the media sort of twisted it, but I think that also, if the shoe was on the other foot, you know, the person was our color, he'd have been dead. There would have been no trial.
Listen, there's no doubt about
Fish
that.
food.
Right? That's 100%, and you're absolutely right on that commentary, right? But that's kind of where it stops. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where you go, damn, you know what, if that was a black kid, that'd have been a different vibe, which is true. But it doesn't make him a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? That's society. Society is that. Society is what is conditioned, you know, conditions. First of all, society has conditioned us to think that we can't carry a gun. Let's start with that, okay? As long as you're not a felon in New York City and you have a reason to carry a pistol, you too can carry a pistol.
Florida, I know you all can.
Right? So
Yes, indeed.
we have been conditioned here in New York to think that we can't go and get a legal gun license. When any of us at this table has not done anything wrong, we can go strap up.
And I totally agree with that. But if 100,000 black people went and signed up with the NRA now, they're going to be changing. The Republicans
Definitely.
and all that would want to change the gun laws immediately.
Listen, and it might change the gun laws, and maybe thank God it would, right? Because of that action. But right now, as it stands, we can get one too.
Oh, we can.
It's not
I'm all
illegal
that.
for a black
No,
person to
it's
have
not.
a gun.
It's not.
We just think it is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like the cows. Everybody sees them going up. They're really getting slaughtered. But it's like, man, my man didn't come back yet. Well, let me go check it out too. And then you come back as a steak.
Right. What happened to him? He's hamburger meat, you know?
Oxtails at this point.
Yeah, like that's kind of the deal. So that's really how I see that situation. So I have no malice in my heart for the Kyle dude because the media had twisted that up so bad, so badly. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't, they tried to make it racial. Because for a long time, you didn't see the victims.
Nope. You didn't. You didn't.
We all thought that the victims were black. I know I did. And I said, what is this? I said, these are people he shot? And then I delved a little deeper and found out what they had done. I was like, come on, I'm glad he got off. You know.
Yeah, well.
You know.
Go ahead, Miss Tonya.
The thing is that I'm in Florida, and I personally have a gun. I certified to have one.
Got that burner.
I just
Got
buy
that
one on the
burner.
corner. But the thing is that people kill people. The gun is not killing the people. You know what I'm saying? So he still was the person that pulled the trigger. So actuality, if he is sick, something wrong with him, he's seeing people floating around or whatever he said that he saw, that is a mental condition. So then treat it as a mental condition, and then, do the justice accordingly to what the situation is. But like you say, you pit one color against the other color, and that's not the situation. But also, if you have this mental situation is valid for one color and not valid for the other color, so somebody else could play crazy, but we can't play crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that we don't have conditions too. We have conditions the same way that they do.
Absolutely.
But we are not allowed to have those conditions apparently. Because like they shot the young man it was a year or two ago, and he had a autistic and something else. He had other issues, and they shot him before they even knew who he was.
Absolutely.
And so this is the thing: if you're gonna train the police the correct way, and there is a problem with them stating, Biden taking the money from the police department, but they're not drilling down to find out what he's taking the money from. He's taking the money from these towns that have tanks and hard artillery for no reason. They're in a little rural area, and they're spending money on big equipment that they don't need. And that money can be used for training and, other things that will help that little community wherever they are, And so that's the other thing that they're trying to pit each other against. They're saying, well, the police don't want to do their job because you're taking the money and this and that. I mean, you really have to do research and drill down to see what these situations are that comes across the media. The media is so slanted. I mean,
and that's because I think everybody has to understand, and this is why independent radio and independent media is so important, is that all media is run by a corporation, which means it's run by a guy that runs the media. If it's a corporation, there's a guy. There's one guy, and he decides the news. They decide what we're going to see, and then how they're going to frame the story. They have framing meetings. How do you want to frame this story? Right?
That's a fact.
That's why independent media is so important, because you're going to get the raw footage, right? You're going to get what it is. This is what it is. No framing, and that's the problem with the news, because the news stopped being the news in 1980. Right. Up until 1980, the news was independent, right? It was independently owned, and it was run by journalists.
Right, and you didn't see the same story on every channel every time you turn. It was a different story, or it was a different angle of the same story.
That's right.
So we are very, very important in this hour to get our stories correct.
Well, I think that, look, I mean, for anybody that has traveled overseas, and I know Rock knows this, but if you look at how the media is done here and the media is done overseas, like, it's a completely different take. I think that when it comes to our stories, right, our stories definitely have.
Well, you Gary? Probably Gary.
That's not me.
Now you got the good headphone system. It's Gary.
So
go ahead, Gary.
Our stories definitely have to be told, right? And I think that in this day and age with these smartphones and stuff like that, when stuff happens, I mean, there's people that could literally video right there on the spot. Now, some things shouldn't be done because maybe, the family may need privacy, but still, I mean, but once the larger media corporation gets hold of it, they're definitely going to, twist it to however they fit, they see fit. And now, with the major news outlets, they're all owned by a corporation, right? They're all owned, and all of them are publicly traded corporations, right? So they're gonna put stuff that's gonna deal with shareholder value.
That's right. That's right.
That's what the bottom line is, right?
Make that money.
Shareholder value. So when it comes to independent media is, there is no. there is no money, like there's no profit, right? It's about the journalism, like journalistic integrity, right?
Right. And it's not about ratings.
And it's not about ratings.
Once the news became about ratings,
That's where
it went left, right?
Totally.
We're not getting good ratings.
Yeah.
So it's screw the story or screw the story, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? To make people want to watch our channel,
Right.
right? And if you ever notice, it's so funny with the news. If they want to have conversations about fire, then every station has the fire story, right?
They talk to the little old lady from this channel. They talk to the old man from that channel.
That
some of the
channel
kids.
and the fire story, and they all have fire stories for some reason, right? I'm like, did these guys all get together? They all have fire stories, and or they want to talk about flooding or whatever it is. They kind of come together, and they all have the problem with that is they all have the same narrative.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You can't have the same narrative
right.
if you're independent.
That's true. That's true. Because all of us
They
may
become
be
like a
seeing that.
paparazzi, you know? You have one story, then everybody's fighting for that story, and they're all at the same place at the same time with their cameras, and they're on top of the other cameras and all that stuff.
That's it.
Like they ain't no
I
other
mean,
news
it's
going
hilarious.
on.
That's right around the corner.
There's so we all know about Fox News and we all know about CNN, right? And that has, they have sort of divided the country, right? And I just want to say, here's the thing. So with Fox News, legal court documents, their attorneys argued that they're entertainment programming.
Correct. They're not even news.
Right. So
Nope.
that
News is just in the
That's
title.
right.
Right. So they're
But
not
they're
even
purely
news,
entertainment,
right?
yeah.
Right. So now on the other end, CNN, foreign countries pay CNN to manufacture stories, right? So now there's another network called Al Jazeera.
Oh boy.
I know
Now,
They go
Alj.
all the way.
Al
in.
Jazeera is probably one of the best news
Yep, they go
outlets
all the way
in the world.
I can see the
Telling
mic.
you, it's like ready to
Yeah,
get it
but
in.
The
But
stories
it's
on
true.
Al Jazeera you would never see here, and check how it works. Right. So back when Al Jazeera was here, right, what they used the whole anti-Muslim thing to get them off the air.
Right.
Right.
It wasn't even about the quality of the content because anybody that's in the news business know how Al Jazeera is. Like they got something like 10 Peabody Awards, right? That's like the journalist version of the Grammys,
Yeah,
right?
I watch Alj
right?
for real news.
Right, for real news.
Yeah.
All this other shit that we getting here,
Stuff.
come on. Beep,
Bing,
right?
bing. Okay, let's hear it. Forget. No, but honestly, the stories that are being shaped out there, I also want to take it from an angle about the music, because music used to carry the movement.
Yeah.
I mean, from Mahalia Jackson to Aretha Franklin to James Brown to Red Fox, even the comedic world had a hand in something. It feels like that's lost. I mean, you might have a Dave Chappelle and then everybody's rallying around a Dave Chappelle. Not a movement, but just a person. Because you should be having freedom of speech. You should be having this, a Nick Cannon, so to speak. But then there are others that just give money to the movement and they make their donation heard, but not their voice, their presence, or their music for the most part. What do you all see is missing right now in the even if it's Black Lives Matter or otherwise? What are we missing?
It is the assassination of free speech without consequence, right? Everyone's afraid that if let's look at it for what it is, right? Look at Colin Kaepernick,
yeah.
right? He stood up and lost his career, right? Now think about this: you're an entertainer, right? Or you a sports figure, and this guy stood up for something that mattered, something that he believed in. He stood up for a wrong. That's all he did.
That's right.
That's all he did. Like anybody should, right? He stood up for a wrong takes a knee, says, I'm taking this knee to bring attention to a bad situation in the black community. The message of the action got lost.
That's right.
All it was about Colin Kaepernick.
And the Patriots, how
And he's not
unpatriotic he was.
patriotic and all this stuff. So now you see that as an entertainer, right? And you be like, damn, my man lost his football job, right? Do I want to lose my rap job?
Right.
Do I want to lose my whatever job you have in entertainment? Because I stood up, and then behind me standing up, ain't no black people rallying behind me either for me to keep my job.
Nope.
Right? No one stood up for Colin and went, hey, Colin, listen, we're all here, we're rallying. We ain't going to watch football.
Yep. And how good did that?
You know what I'm saying? If the blacks would have said, we ain't going to watch football, right?
And we ain't gonna play.
We ain't going to play football. If the other, look at this. You're right.
You're not gonna buy your product.
Because if the other black football players would have stood behind Colin, Colin would have still had a job. But they didn't because they was afraid to lose their job. So us as black people, in terms of lending our voices to a movement like we used to, like when there was Public Enemy and all that, you know, and Public Enemy broke up because they spoke out about something that, you know, didn't agree with general society.
That's right.
Right? And then they were gone. This is the problem with cancel culture, right? This is the problem with our entertainers not being able to speak their mind. Right? Dave.
With the incident with Kevin Hart.
You
know,
ended up not on the Academy Oscars, right?
Yeah.
Because
something that happened 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Whatever,
right?
way before.
Right? And I think he had said something.
Crazy.
What did he say? Something that was considered to be homophobic?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
with the LBGT.
Right. Okay. Now, peep this.
LGBTQ.
Okay. Because I sat and listened to Eminem's albums over the weekend. He says the F word and not the FU word, but the FAG word, all that, and is indiscriminate about it.
That's right.
But nobody stopped buying his albums.
That's right.
Nobody said, Eminem, you can't do this and you can't do that. And then when they came at him, he did it again. He made a record about it. Right?
Michael Jackson owns publishing for a while. So.
Right. But, okay. But he still spoke his mind without cancel culture. And he got away with it.
Yeah.
A black entertainer say something, cancel culture.
That's right.
They
hit your pocket first.
And they hit your pocket.
That's right.
That's why I applaud Dave Chappelle.
Oh, Dave's, yeah.
Because and what was ridiculous, here's what was really apparent about that, right? And then I'm going to pass the mic.
Okay.
Because I get passionate about this shit.
That's
this
right.
stuff.
But that's
how
we're
it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Because his show was not homophobic
Not one bit.
or racist or anything.
No.
But cancel culture tried to frame it like that.
Yep.
And anybody with any sense could see. And then
That's the media.
and then you saw on Twitter the transsexual got on. I was like, nah, Dave is cool.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he had to. What was funny because it was a trap, right? And I think the media didn't know it was a trap, and I think parts of the LGBTQ didn't know it was a trap. When he said, "I took care of," what was the name of the transsexual?
Oh yeah, it was the friend
comedian
that passed away.
That passed away.
Right.
He said, "I gave her shot."
Right.
To be on the stage with me,
Yep.
and I didn't even know she was terrible.
Right. I just got in the audience.
Right. And then she was funny.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then after she did all that, I put money up for her children.
Yep.
Where were y'all?
Yep.
That was a trap. Right? But then they wanted to rally on him, but you missed the message that my man is nothing like that in real life.
Right.
He tells jokes, but his humanitarian character is with integrity. You know what I'm saying? So I'm past it because I'd be bugged.
Yeah, but that's what the media makes it out to be that way. Because if you go back and look at all the old comedy specials, and
Oh,
I mean from Flip
please.
Wilson all the way up. These people talked about all of that
They
stuff,
got
and I
it
mean
in.
straightforward with it,
I
and
s-
nobody said nothing.
I
It was
saw a,
entertainment, you know.
It was one of those roasts, celebrity roasts.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I
my
think they were
gosh.
roasting Richard Pryor. I mean, when I say he went down the line, and it's funny to this day. And most of those comedians, they either passed away or, there's still some relevancy there, but not active. But I'm just saying, in terms of music, moving a movement, where do you think we're going to be, let's say 2 years from now, 3 years from now, with music trying to shape the movement, with independent radio being a factor and pushing certain narratives themselves? Where do you think we're going to be? This is for the panel.
I think that I think that a lot more needs to come from independent radio, independent podcasts, to really push the narrative and really show that there are voices out there, because a lot of these major corporations, they're taking notice, right? And I say that because in the podcast world, a lot of big companies, they're buying up small podcast companies.
That's right.
For like 300, 400, 500 million. It's insane. It's just insane. Right? So to me, it's when it comes to us, if we can maintain our independence, or if there's going to be a bigger deal that's going to be done, then you can't, you can't tell us what to do, right? You can't tell us what to say, because we're representing what's happening in our community.
Here's the problem, though, right? And this is the issue. Once you get the check,
Turn into, here come my darling, here come my ragtime gal. Tell me you never
become my darling, become my ragtime gal, right?
Right. We get soft shoe all day
You still saying,
long.
once you accept the check, you accept the terms of the check. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
But see, that's why. Well, see, no,
To read that small print.
and see what. So what
yes.
Rock is saying is that, so now, when it comes to a lot of these nonprofits that get these black nonprofits that get the big white check, there's things that come with that big white check.
Oh yeah,
You
Big
understand?
white foot. In the,
Right?
big white
That-
foot in your butt.
Right? So
You want to know what Bigfoot is? It's the big check.
if you're gonna take this $5 or $10 million, here's what you can't do.
that's right.
Here's
Correct.
what you can't say.
correct.
And we
Like,
know
and that's
from the
proven.
industry, Yep. We were
happening.
sitting in an office one day, and guys begging.
Yep.
He's begging for his money, but then talking blackity, black, get down black.
Right.
On the album, I lost all
Respect.
when it's like this. I need hello Bert. I need.
can't feed.
It's so many of us have gone that route where it's no longer about a movement. My movement, my family, I don't care. And it's all over TV, it's all over those other places. But I want to make a special call out to all of those conscious artists that are out there. I need you all to hit us up, Q Media Group USA at gmail.com. You can even call me 551-207-1327. Let's make this music happen. Let's make it go around the world, because if you cannot find a market within America, you most certainly will throughout the world. Look at how Public Enemy set up stages,
Well, there-
X-Clan, all of these people.
Here's the interesting thing with public.
And we're gonna play it here.
So, but
We gonna play it.
here's the powerful thing about hip hop music. I remember one day I was scrolling through YouTube and I saw an Arab group, right? An Arab group. They were like, the track was dope, but I come to find out they were rapping obviously in their language,
Right.
but the struggles that they were going through, right? And I'm like, look at the power of hip hop. over in Russia, Putin, like, he put something where, like, if you, like, so that tells you how big hip hop, how influential hip hop is. Because when the president of Russia could talk about, you know, if artists are gonna come out talking about, you know, Russia in a bad way, you're gonna get locked up.
Right. What is that?
That shows that
That's not how it should be.
No, but what it does show is it shows the power of music.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right?
It's
The power of
transcendent.
music and how it can shape a generation and shape a people.
That's right.
Because music has always been the message.
That's right.
Right? And in this platform that we do here, I'm always about independent media. I'm about speaking your truth, even if sometimes that truth doesn't appeal to the masses.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You speak your truth. Just speak your truth. That's all it is. And we should receive more music from independent artists speaking their truth. I mean, I love Young Tef, you know, speaking the truth, right? And that's what's dope. And that's what this needs to be about. You know, if you want to speak out and you want to talk about what's going on in society,
That's right.
you want to talk about what's happening in the world, which is what the music is supposed to be, right? Then you need to send that to Q Media Nation.
That's right.
Right? So that we can play that.
USA, I know we got like 1 minute left.
Nah, but go ahead. Tell the people.
Because it's serious.
Yeah, tell the people.
We have to create, like, you know how when we couldn't get into this popular white club, we couldn't go to Tropicana and all these other different places. We had what was called a Chitlin Circuit. We didn't care.
Yeah, that's
You know, we created our own, and we always do. We always come out on top. Once we make it our own, then somebody comes and says, "Damn, they did it again. Damn, I gotta get control of that."
Let me give them a check.
Yeah, look. We take a couple of their bills. We know the black people got bills. Nothing but bills. So often that is compromised. But there are a lot of artists who, over the years, myself included, that would not do the couch. I mean, and you know, as a female in the music in the entertainment industry, you're like meat to a wolf. I don't care what size, I don't care what color, as long as you have no brains, button breasts, you are in there. And they're doing it to the guys too. But a lot more so in
I know, I got that phone
too.
call. I was like, oh.
See? And you lose it. It's like you lose
I was like, I didn't know it was like that. I was like, hey, listen, you know, cool. I gotta move on. I don't want to be that successful.
No, I'm good.
I'm okay.
But like I said, Q Media Nation, we're always open and always looking for. You know what? I'm not. We got, because I want to intro Enoch the Prophet. He's going to be on Brother Hashem. He has some music that we want to definitely bring on. And of course, my boy Benny Bermuda. He is from Brooklyn. He is really doing his thing. So we're going to bring some conscious artists through, even if it's just their music. If we're not going to do a specific interview, but I want people to understand that we have to make our stuff work.
Absolutely.
And independent media is where it is. Shout out to IAS Live.
Yes,
you can catch
Jolie
them
and Maria.
They're on making things happen.
Yeah, independent
for the
artists.
independent artists. They even have magazines. You can put yourself in their magazine on a quarterly basis, and the rates are reasonable. Okay, so don't count yourself out. Get your little job. Go ahead.
Shout out to Renee Mickens.
Absolutely.
Renee's also all about independent artists. And see, let me just say this: there's the music industry. The business model has changed a lot, and a lot of artists have been going independent. You know, last week we lost young Dolph. Young Dolph was independent, right? So a lot of artists, they're doing the independent route, and they're seeing they're starting to create that movement. So that's a very good thing, and I think that's something that we can capitalize off of and sort of get to pull together with all these, because now, even though some of us may not like this new music that's out, it seems like some of these new artists, they're like
taking the business moves more.
They're making some serious business moves where it's about owning their masters, right? And I think that's, if we can sort of get all of that together and be like, look, have this big message, because what's the company? Empire Distribution. Empire Distribution is making a fortune off of independent artists.
Yes, they are.
They're going to the
In more ways than one, because we're going to talk about insurance at some point with these artists.
Don't get me started. All right, don't get me started.
Oh, we about to start another show.
Don't get me
The life
started.
insurance situation.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Okay. But you know, you are your own source of revenue, so make it happen. Community in the Nation, we appreciate everything that Boardwalk Global does for us to make sure that we have a quality, very, very presentable show, and makes me actually put on a face because I have to be on for the people. But in any case, I shout out to both of you for our next show, December 28th. We're going to have on Reverend Kevin, who you all will definitely know his work, BET, for a number of years.
Okay.
And he is now a pastor. But he speaks a lot he just speaks to the world. Used to be best friends with Natalie Cole, and very much so connected in the industry, but also bringing the word so that the people who are in the industry do not lose some semblance of God in their lives. And so he talks to a lot of celebrities, a lot of entertainers, a lot of folks that are out there who on their not camera side are really trying to stay alive, because we've lost a lot of folks to suicide and other things. But they don't have people to talk to, because you feel like you need to always be on a stage. So for those who are already in the independent industry and so forth, we want to bring some light also, because these are the holidays and a lot of things happen during the holidays. True. As we are your source for independent thought, politics, money, music, and life, I am Sister Falana, and this is Miss Tanya. You're supposed to say your name right there.
Miss Tanya.
Along with Gary Fax, and of course, Rock.
You ain't like that.
Shout out Community Nation. Thank you once again. We'll be on our own platform on Instagram Live next week. We're going to do some wealth strategies with you all, and have some other guests on. So
that's a bet.
Peace and blessings.
Thank you. Peace and love.